All right, today I want to talk about the difference between wholesaling and being a referral agent. I'm going to do a comparison with this, and then I'll do another video with flipping, because everybody, it seems like a lot of people are aware of wholesaling and flipping, and obviously not so many are aware of being a referral-only agent. So I'm going to walk you through my little screen here. We're going to talk a little bit about it. It won't be too long, but I'm going to show you the numbers, and I'm going to show you the grand numbers, and then what I really think the actual target is, especially related to referral only, because I don't want to mislead anybody, because the math based on hours, excuse me, the math based on hours shows some exceptional numbers on referral only. And can some agents hit that number? Sure. Will most? No. So I'll talk about what I think you could do. So as we go through this, again, we're going to compare wholesaling versus referral only, the head-to-head comparison. A lot of times you'll hear people with wholesaling talk about no-cost wholesaling, and that's usually through assignment of contracts. You're going to either sell the contract and earn an assignment fee, and they'll get that when it closes, or they'll be doing a back-to-back closing, meaning they will close on the purchase and then they will immediately sell it to somebody else. In that situation, it's not no cash, but the no cash out of pocket is usually when you're able to write the options contract with the seller as the wholesaler, and then you go find somebody to buy that contract from you, and then they pay you an assignment fee. That's why the key is to really get really good deals, because that's how you're going to make your profit. So this is all information I've researched. I've got some footnotes below that you can reference as well. But the upfront cost, the monthly average for wholesaling, again, this is taken from internet information. Lead generation, marketing lists, skip tracing when you're trying to find people that are behind on bills, people that are getting ready to get foreclosed. You know, you're trying to step in as a wholesaler and you're trying to find those distressed sellers so you can get that property inexpensive and then sell it and make your assignment fee. So compared to, this is averaging 700 to 4,000. Now 4,000 to me is somebody that's out there really kind of crushing it. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of marketing, and there are people doing that. I was a broker for somebody that did rehabs and new construction close to DC, and that's exactly what they had to do. And the investment's significant, and the hope is that the upside. Now they were building homes, so their profit was much higher than a wholesaler, significantly. So you're looking at potential monthly costs of 700 to 4,000 just to run your business. On the referral agent only side, you're looking at maybe $700 for the year, right? You could later, and that, to me, that's $700 for the year for your first year. After that, once you have your license, you know, a big chunk of that $700 was getting your license if you didn't have it. If you already have your license, you're not really looking at any costs, and that's the reality of it. Now, if you decided you wanted to start doing paid ads because you want to generate even more leads, then great, right? Then you can look at that. But wholesaling, you have to be putting effort into finding those leads. They don't fall in your lap as easy as they do when you're looking for referral only. So time for your first payout. Your first payout, this is that reference, is for wholesaling. It says the average for the first payout for wholesalers is 4 to 8 months, right? So not horrible, but if you're starting it as a side gig or you're trying to turn it into full-time money, that's a lot of money to be putting out every month and then waiting 4 to 8 months to get paid. So that can be a bit of a challenge. Some people are in a position to do that. A lot of people aren't. On the referral only side, you're looking 30 to 40 days after your referral, you know, after your referral writes an offer. So if you refer your lead to a realtor and they write an offer 2 weeks later, about 30 to 40 days after that, that transaction completes, and then you're going to get paid within about 10 days of that. So let's just say 60 days on the high end, right, of when you refer that lead till you get paid. Now, sometimes you'll have a lead that's not going to be doing anything for months. That's a different scenario, but you're going to find quite a few leads when you hear them. They're talking about real estate because it's something they're trying to do now, right? They're like, hey, we're looking to sell. We got to move. We got to relocate. Husband and wife got a new job. All those things come into play. So much higher, much more frequent pay on the referral only side. And then let's talk a little bit about active hours that you have to work for your payday. And this is active hours for one client, right? It's for one transaction and payment. It's suggested that, and let's just stay on the low end. We'll mention. So for a wholesaler, because I don't want to just attack wholesaling and be like they're horrible, but I want to show how the amount of effort and the money you can make translating that into dollars per hour is significantly higher as a referral-only agent with none of the exposure. So according to the information, 40 to 80 hours a week in order of cold calling, vetting, negotiating, and trying to closing that, trying to close that deal. Because once you find the seller, you now need to go find somebody to buy that. Now, if you're in a wholesaling group, sometimes you'll have other resources, like people that are looking to buy these properties, right? They don't want to put the work into finding them, but when you find them, so you might build a network that does that. That stuff exists, right? So again, if you just want to be a wholesaler because you feel like that's just really cool real estate sounding stuff, go have at it. But I'm going to show you why financially and time-wise, it's a waste as far as I'm concerned. Income per deal, again, this is an average. People are going to do higher and lower on both sides here. The average profit claim is $10,000. Again, that's the average. Okay, and they just spent 40 to 80 hours to get $10,000. So you can do the quick hourly rate. Let's just say, pick it in the middle, say 60, right? On the referral-only side, your total interaction time with the lead once you meet them, vetting an agent, and then staying in contact with both through the process in the sense of making sure that they're talking to each other, making sure things didn't break down, and then your lead went somewhere else. 4 to 8 hours total per lead, and 8 to me is a lot, right? In the beginning, you might find you do a little bit more because you're just new at this and you're trying to find your way. But on average, you're going to do 4 to 8 hours, and that's it. So 4 to 8 versus 40 to 80, big difference. Now, your average pay, assuming a $400,000 average sales price, again, depending on your area, it could be lower, it could be higher. Or depending on your focus, you could decide a niche that's very high priced, then great, your numbers are going to be higher. But on average, if you do that, you're looking $3,000 to $3,600 potentially for your referral fee. So for 48 hours, $3,600 in 60 days. Okay, in your pocket in about 60 days. Okay, for a referral only. Now, the effective dollars per hour worked for wholesaling is pretty low, right? You're looking at $10,000. Where's my quick calculator here? I'll bring this up. Let's say 10,000. Let's divide it by 60. So you're looking at $166 an hour, right? Doesn't seem bad, right? You're like, wow, I'd take that. But let's look at, again, we split that difference. So let's look at 3,600 by 6. That's $600 an hour, right? That's significantly more. So again, something to keep in mind when you're looking at these numbers. The thing that I think is really overlooked here is financial risk. When you're a wholesaler, you're potentially, if everything goes fine, there's no problems. But when things go south and there are issues, that's when a wholesaler potentially has issues. They'll rely on this contract that they believe is written so well it's not going to be a problem. But I guarantee you, once you're in court, the people will pull those things apart all day and all night, right? And you never know what a court's going to decide, right? It's not, contracts are never as black and white as we all like them to think, even in residential real estate. But you have a much higher risk because you're technically practicing real estate without a license. So, and that tends to be the argument when things are going wrong, right? So again, if you're taking a good course in a class, they're going to teach you how to avoid some of those things. But again, you have legal risk, you have a significant amount of time, and your hourly rate isn't nearly at the level of a referral-only agent, not even close, right? And then the legal and financial risk for a referral-only agent is I want to say it's non-existent, but I hate speaking in absolutes, right? I guess it's possible you could do something, I don't know what. The reason I can't imagine what is, as a referral-only agent, you are not involved in contracts. You're not involved in brokerage agreements with the client. You're not involved with the contract that client writes with the buyer or seller. You're not involved with the negotiations, the inspections, or anything like that. The HOA docs, the condo docs, appraisal issues, financing issues. You have nothing to do with any of that. Anything that could break down and then become a lawsuit, right? You're just the person that connected them. Now, again, I'd love to say there's none, but right now, again, you're not dealing with any contractual documents that put you at risk. Now, if you somehow are a really bad person and you find some way for this to be to cheat this system and make it, I don't know why you would, it's so easy, well then of course you'll have some problems. For example, if you ignore fair housing, that can get you in trouble. Okay. Now I want to look at this. Now this number is going to look exceptionally well for referral only, but I'm going to disclaim that. Right now, this comparison we're looking at is only based on hours worked for one lead. Okay. And then using that to calculate out. So the solo production, like one person, no assistant, nobody doing, any marketing or cold calling for them, just one person on your own doing one or the other here. So if you are a wholesaler and you're really kind of getting yourself going, right, you could probably do about 2 deals a month, right? That's what this math is showing. But you're looking at about 200 hours of work a month, right? So that's, potentially 40 to 50 hours a week. That's a full-time job, right? Generating leads, getting them, negotiating. You are working. That's your job. No question about it, right? And you're potentially, again, using the average, and this is from the internet, the average of about $10,000. Now, gurus and everybody's always going to tell you it's much more. I always like to be really clear, even as I'm getting ready to talk about referral only, because this looks insanely great, but I'm going to disclaim this in a second. So using that number, you're looking at potentially $20,000 as a wholesaler every month. It seems amazing, right? 20,000 times 12, $240,000. You can live on that, right? You can take some nice vacations to Cancun or wherever you like to go, head over to the Maldives, whatever. Now, on the referral agent, again, we're talking the same amount of time, right? The same amount of time, you could potentially generate 20 to 25 referrals a month, okay? Based on a $3,000 to $3,600 per referral in your pocket profit. Well, actually, that would be to your broker, because you'll have a split with your broker. So if it's $3,600, your broker may keep whatever, let's just say 20%. So 36, 66. So you're going to get like 34 and change, right? 35. So, but still, let's just say it's 36 for the quick math. You're looking at $72,000 to $90,000 a month. Now that sounds amazing, and here's where I'm going to disclaim this. I really don't know anybody as a referral-only agent. Well, first I will also qualify this. I am not aware of anybody that is focusing on teaching people about being a referral-only agent as this game-changing, and again, I hate saying side hustle, but that's how a lot of people are going to use it. But it's this game-changing direction for earning money. It's a professional designation. You have your real estate license. This is not some potentially slimy thing on the side. And you're the anti-real estate agent in a sense, because you're the one saying, hey, there's a lot of crappy agents out there. Let me go find you a good one, right? So do I think somebody's going to do 20 to 25 a month? Yeah, but I don't really believe that would be a one agent. I don't think one person, even though that's still the same amount of hours, 40 to 50 hours a week, I don't think I'm going to see a lot of people doing that. What I think I'll see is people doing about 20 hours of work, right? And that's what we're going to scroll down to here a little bit. So if you cut that time in half, you're still looking, again, the full-time wholesaler was looking at $20,000 for average month for working 40 to 50 hours a week. For half of that, for the referral-only agent, you're looking $25,000 to $36,000 for half of the work, none of the exposure, and a much higher hourly rate. Right? That's why I'm like, why wouldn't you just do this? And the only thing I can imagine is people haven't heard of it yet, or they're not aware of how well they can do in this field. And it doesn't sound sexy. I'm going to be honest. Like, a referral-only agent doesn't sound like, hey, I'm a wholesaler. You know, you're sitting at a party with friends. Like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, I wholesale properties. That sounds kind of cool, right? They're like, what do you do? I'm a referral-only agent. Like, what the hell's that? Right? And then you got to explain it to them. So it doesn't have that sexy feel of being a wholesaler or a flipper, because that's all on HGTV. There's no HGTV series on referral agents, and there won't be. So again, looking at these numbers, I don't know how, looking at the legal exposure and the hourly rates and the numbers, I don't know how you wouldn't lean to referral-only agent. Now, I will talk about a couple things. I've really kind of already talked about this. Pound per pound, minute for minute, the referral-only agent model absolutely destroys wholesaling. No question about it. If you want to get a copy, and I'm going to come back to something, but I want to finish this up. If you want to get a copy of my quick start kit, which has the, you head over to my free community, which is on school, and there's a link that'll be here. And then you're going to get a copy of a referral agreement, so you can see how that works. There's a video that explains all these documents, the referral agreement, the agent vetting form, right? All the questions you're going to need to ask an agent if you're a referral only, to try to make sure you're, focusing in on the good agents. A big list of all the licensing boards for each state, so you can go and see what the qualification requirements are, and then a PDF of online schools, so you can go take your class online. Okay, but one thing I'll warn you is somebody brought this up in a conversation, and they're like, well, what I can do is I could do both. Why? I'll be a wholesaler because I really like doing this. I like working all these hours and making hardly any money, again, in my opinion. And then I can also be a referral-only agent, and I can generate income, to help, fill those ebbs and flows and, give me my cash for my marketing. Sounds great. Don't do it. And here's why you don't do it. Same reason a flipper won't do it. Is once you're a licensed agent, even as a referral agent, you now have higher licensing disclosure requirements than a wholesaler that doesn't. And I am certain that in a wholesaling course or group, they're telling you don't get your license. Because if you do, and you start doing this, when you go to sell a property and you're interacting with a contract, you have to note that you're a real estate agent. It's required, right? And then when you're assigning this document and you're making profit, that's when you'll get a seller that's gonna be like, well, wait a second, this real estate agent had insider information to the market that I didn't have, and they manhandled me here and they manipulated me, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of a lawsuit, and that is a lot more exposure. Wholesalers are already dealing with a lot of exposure, in my opinion. You don't want to add licensing to it, and I am certain that any of the gurus out there that are teaching these courses are telling you the same thing. Don't get licensed. So just in case that was on your mind. Again, head over to the community. If you're watching this on YouTube, I would love if you go ahead and like the video, share it with somebody that might find this interesting. Subscribe. I always say this, I don't expect this channel to blow up, but I do want people that are interested in this topic to subscribe and check out these videos. I'll try to cover other areas. The next one I'm going to do is on flipping homes versus referral-only agent. My name is Steve Bradley. This is Agent Referral Life, and I'll see you in the next video.